financial products, uh, who do I depend on? So my call, as Dr. Rao said, is always maybe get a good reference, and because majority individuals are salespeople, they don't believe in their product, but they sell those products because they get a good commission. So always get a good reference and ask that person if he or she can share their personal portfolio. And preferably your advisor should be wealthy. Your advisor should be wealthy.
Sorry to interrupt, Ashok. May I come in quickly on that insurance business? I've had a personal experience.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, I had insurance, which was a basic LIC in insurance for covering Mediclaim. And my daughter, who was working in Harvard Business School, had a coverage also for her parents, which is substantial. And I went, as some of you know, a very major heart surgery, which even didn't cover these combined costs, but it was not bad. But the problem was that after she quit Harvard Business School, I'd lost that insurance, and I've not been able to get a top-up insurance again because it was not done earlier, and because I had this medical insurance. So I would recommend strongly that get medical insurance done as much as you can, even if you feel that the money is down the drain and you're fit and fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry about that, Anand. Please carry on.
Yeah. Okay. What you see on your screen is maybe an age line or lifeline of 0 to 100. Usually the first 25 years are preparatory years where a person is getting ready for a career. Maybe from the age of 25 to the age of 65 are the career years or the period where a person is earning. And then post 65, majority to retirement. And this could go on for a minimum of around 25 years. And maybe I'll give an example. I have my father who is 93, and he is fit. He can drive his own car, does not take a medicine, and his goal is to live to 120. So, and to live fit till 120. So that retirement age can still be as long as you want it. Right? Now, but what has happened now, if you look at people around you, and this is a study that has been done, at the age of 65, though an individual has had around 40 years of earning where he made money, what happens to majority people by the age of 65? Right? This is what you see around you. 55% of the people at the age of 65 are broke. Right? Or they are dependent, either on their children or on maybe a community home or maybe on the government. Right? 35% of the people are working because काम नहीं करेंगे नहीं चलेगा. They have to work. Right? 8% people are financially independent, but they have scaled down their lifestyle to a great extent. Right? They have reduced their expenses to a great extent. Only 2% people are wealthy. Right? They can just go anywhere they want. They can just maybe write a big donation check. They can just maybe give large gifts to their children, grandchildren, or maybe even maybe make large investments. So a question here. What is more difficult, making money or managing money?
I think managing money.
Right. So people do make money for an average period of around 40 years. But if they don't manage it well, they will end up in a mess. And again, a different question. What is more difficult, becoming wealthy or staying wealthy?
Staying wealthy.
I think staying wealthy.
Staying wealthy.
Now, over these years, I've come across number of individuals, number of families who inherited big amounts. But what happened in the next 10 years? Even if you win a lottery, what happens in the next 10 years? You are back to where you were. They've lost all their wealth. So you have generated some wealth. That is the primary goal. But staying wealthy and maybe leaving that legacy for the next generations is a bigger goal. That is what is difficult. Right? That is what needs to be learned. And we're going to today focus more on not only becoming wealthy, but more on staying wealthy for generations. Right? Okay. Whatever I'm going to share today is not bookish. Whatever I'm going to share today is what I do. So I'm only going to share from my experiences. What do you see in the picture before you?
Varieties.
Variety foods.
Right. So in terms of money, what comes before you? What do you make meaning from this picture before you in terms of money?
It's a very
Various
sumptuous meal.
Right. Okay. Try to visualize this. This meal has been cooked at your home. All the family sit around the dining table, enjoy the meal. And then what is left, you give it to somebody who needs it in the road. What do you call that?
Charity.
Right? This is a leftover. ये है, in Gujarati we call it ethwad, अथवा जूठा. Right? So whatever you have left, you have given it away. And try to visualize this. This meal, this was cooked at home. एक थाली आप पहले अलग से करते हैं. You take out some food from this and make a different plate, and that plate you give it to a needy person. What do you call that?
Charity.
Right, that is what charity is. So how should be my savings? Like Rahul said, my savings should always be like charity. The thumb rule is your savings should always be like charity. First, remove from what you have earned, what you plan to save. And then rest, spend, or do whatever that is needed. Okay. But what is happening with majority individuals, they do the reverse. First they spend and then agar kuch bachta hai, to then I will save. You can buy a shirt for 300 rupees and you can buy a shirt for 15,000 rupees. Okay. Like everything can be fixed into what is left. Okay. How much should I be saving? The thumb rule is minimum 3 monthly incomes. Or if I am earning around 12 lakhs, minimum 3 lakhs per year should be saved. Right? If I am single, I can save up to 6 monthly incomes. If I am single and if I don't have any any other liabilities, I can save up to 6 incomes per year. And if I am living with my parents, I can save up to 9 incomes per month, 9 incomes per year, monthly incomes per year. Right? But the minimum one needs to be saving is 3. That is the minimum thumb rule. Because अगर मेरा saving दान जैसा नहीं है, तो मेरा future life कैसा होगा? Right. So if I want my future life to be great, मेरा saving दान जैसा रखना पड़ेगा. My saving should be like charity. That is the first thumb rule that we need to follow. Now, the question here, what are the 3 biggest liabilities once you are born? Anyone can help me here?
You need to eat, you need to wear clothes, you need to have a house.
Right? Okay.
Health.
I'm talking about the 3 biggest liabilities.
Education.
Marriage, bringing up children,
Okay.
and marrying them,
Wife.
and a house.
Okay. 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 One of the first biggest liability is living too short, untimely death. Right? If you have any liabilities, maybe like if you are married and you have wife and children who are dependent on you, or if you have maybe sisters and brothers who are dependent on you, or if you have elder, if you are in a maybe a sandwich generation where even your elders are dependent on you, and if there is a timely death, untimely death, then it is a big liability that needs to be planned for. Okay. The second is living too long. If you end up living for 100, 120 years, right? And the kind of medical facilities that we have now, even if you want to go, they will not allow you to go. The 108 will come, take you on time, maybe put you on a ventilator for a few days, and again get you back home. Right? Average life expectancy in India has gone up to a great extent. Today, all of us have been vaccinated right from childhood. So an average person is going to live. There are going to be some exceptions where people are going to die young, but an average person is going to live to an age of 90. If a person is health conscious, staying healthy, they can live longer. Okay? So living too long is also a liability that I need to plan for. And then there are liabilities as you shared in between, like a house, children, their education, maybe marriage, maybe the vacations that you want, or the fast cars that you want to buy. So all these are different liabilities in between that you need to plan for. Okay. So to cover all these liabilities, what is that you can do? When does this journey start? Right? This journey starts maybe from the age of 20 or 25, from the time you start your career.
कुठे बाहेर नाही होत आहे, घरी जाऊन झोपायला लागेल. त्याला बोलवून या. नाही सर बोलव.
Okay. So you start your journey by the age of around 20 or 25, and by the age of around 65, till that age of around 65, you will be active in your career. So by that time, you need to develop a corpus. Right? You need to develop a corpus which can take care of your retirement till the day you breathe. Right? And if you are earning enough, what will that lead to? Right? If you are earning enough, all the liabilities that can also be taken care of. Right? Now, for this to happen, right? So if I go back to the earlier slide, the earlier you start, the lower the slope. If I start saving from the age of 25, maybe I'll have to make small contributions per month. If I start by the age of 35 savings, it will be a larger contribution. So the gradation will increase, right? So maybe as Rahul said, I'll maybe give you a small example here. If I want to develop a corpus of around 5 crore rupees, right? And if I have a 30-year period, I only have to save around 16,000 rupees per month at a return of, I'm thinking very bullish, around 12%. Now, getting a 12% return consistently for 30 years is thinking very bullish, right? Right? But if you do that at a very small saving per month, a large corpus like this can be developed. Okay? But to do that, what do I need to do? First is save regularly. Now a study has been done. Savings accounts, of all the savings accounts that have been opened, how many people are depositing on a monthly basis or saving on a monthly basis? Right. You will find for a period of over 10 or 15 years, you will find maybe zero. So if you have a savings account, savings is not very easy. Then the second most important thing, when you are saving, there has to be no withdrawals. Because if you withdraw in this journey, what will happen? Your corpus will be smaller. It will not compound. And the third, very important, I'll have to be alive and fit. First, I need to be fit so that I can earn, and I need to be alive so that I can develop that corpus. So only if these three are fulfilled, that corpus will be built. And if I have maybe my spouse who is dependent on me, and if I have elderly parents who are dependent on me, and maybe if I have children whose education and maybe marriages is dependent on me, it is what? An if plan. If I regularly save, if I don't withdraw, because majority of PPF accounts or majority of FDs have been broken before maturity date. Either you have taken an OD against a PPF, either you have taken an OD against an FD. So that corpus does not get built. So if you want to build a corpus right from the day of 25 or 35, what is the easiest way is maybe take an endowment or take an insurance plan which will, मैं हूं तो भी वो corpus बनेगा, नहीं हूं तो भी वो corpus बनेगा. Right? So that is a secure way of building a corpus. Right? Okay. Let us go a little further. I would want each one of you to read this statement and maybe give a thought on it. You are wealthy when you can do what you want, when you want, with whom you want, and for how long you want. I am wealthy when I can do what I want, when I want to do that, with whom I want to do that, and for how long I want to do that. What is this statement advocating? What are the freedoms that I need if I want to be wealthy?
Freedom.
Yes? What are the freedoms that I need? What is this statement advocating?
Only
Financial
Financial freedom.
Financial freedom.
Anand. Yeah.
Only financial freedom is I am wealthy?
It's health.
You're not dependent on anybody.
Only if I have financial freedom, I am wealthy? What the statement is saying is I also have time freedom.
Good health.
Good health.
I also have freedom of time.
Yeah.
I may have all the money, but if I don't have time, I'm not wealthy. I'm still in the rat race. Right? I'm still in the rat race. So I am wealthy when I can do what I want, when I want to do it, with whom I want to do it, and for how long I want to do it. Right? Okay. Now, to make this a reality, what can I do? Let us first understand the types of income. What are the different types of income that we have? The first is active income, the income that I work for. I am doing something every day or every month which is generating some revenue. So that is an active income. The second kind of income is portfolio income. Right? I could have maybe I'm saving or investing for something which is getting compounded by itself, and then it means portfolio will be cashed after a period of time. Maybe I plan to buy maybe a retirement fund I'm trying to create, so that I'm creating a retirement portfolio. So that is a portfolio income. So most of the time the income that is generated in the portfolio income gets reinvested in the portfolio. And the third kind of income is passive cash flow income. That I have a corpus which is generating cash flow on a monthly basis and putting it in my bank. I have a cash flow that is generating income and putting in my bank on a monthly basis. Now that is cash flow. Okay. Now, majority of individuals have large portfolios, but I have very poor cash flows. That I know a lot of individuals and families who have maybe crores of worth of real estate, but all that real estate is in litigation, no cash flow. They have built large homes, but they have very poor cash flows. They literally have to maybe take, even sometimes borrow around few lakh of rupees to run their home. So there are three kind of incomes. First is active income, which you need to work for. Other is the portfolio building, getting compounded. And the third kind of income is passive cash flow incomes. Passive income is income that you don't have to work for. Money is working for you. Right? Okay. If you go to an accountant, usually an accountant will talk about two statements. He will talk about a P&L, a profit and loss statement, and he will talk about a balance sheet. Okay? So these are the two statements that we usually hear. Let us understand these two statements with a little ease. What you earn, all what you earn goes into your income statement. So you mind your own business. When you're minding your own business, you are doing an income. Expense means you are minding somebody else's business. Either you are paying tax, so you are giving money. That is the government is getting rich. It is their income. My tax is government's income. I spend something. It is somebody else's income. I am managing somebody else's business. So every expense that I make I'm managing somebody else's income. Now then there is something as an asset, and then there is a liability. Asset is something that generates income, and a liability is something that generates an expense. Okay. Now let us maybe simplify this. You have generated maybe an X amount of income per month, and then you have an Y amount of expense per month. When you minus Y out of X, what does that lead to?
Profit.
That is the surplus. That's not a profit, that's a surplus. Right? That's a surplus. So income minus expense is a surplus. Now what you do with this surplus is very important. I say earn 10 lakhs per month, and maybe my expense is 5 lakhs per month, and my surplus is 5 lakhs per month. What do I do with that surplus? I can do two things. Either I can buy an asset or I can buy a liability. Now, what is an asset? An asset is something that puts money in my pocket. Right? Maybe I have bought something, maybe a property which gives me monthly rental income is an asset, because it is putting money in my pocket. And I bought an asset, on books of account, it's an asset, but it is generating a monthly expense, then it's a liability. Either I can buy an asset or a liability. A large home, on books of account, it's an asset, but in financial terms, it is actually a liability, because it is going to generate a higher expense on a monthly basis. A bigger car is not an asset. On books of account, it's an asset, but actually it's a liability, because it's going to generate a bigger office is not an asset, it's actually a liability. Right? So what puts money in my pocket is an asset. What generates an expense every month is a liability. Right? So what I do with my surplus is very important. What people end up doing. What people end up doing. Let us get to the next slide. Whatever surplus you have, they end up buying liability. They end up buying liabilities. They end up taking maybe very large mortgages, large car loans, maybe do a lot of debit card or credit card. They maybe start putting their children in maybe much fancy schools. And what are they doing? They're keeping on increasing their expenses. So what happens? They have to earn more. And they keep on, from the more earning, the surplus, again, they keep on buying expenses. So what happens? They again have to go out and earn more. So they are in this rat race for life. They'll have to keep on earning because their expense bill keeps on increasing, because they always keep on buying liabilities. But what the financially wise do is, from the surplus, they keep on buying assets. Assets that are giving me maybe dividends, bonds that are giving me an interest, notes that are giving me some interest, some intellectual property they will create that is giving them some royalty, right? Or they will maybe buy some rental real estate that is giving them monthly rent. So what is happening? My income is going on increasing. My income is going on increasing and my expense is the same. Now, income that is coming from my assets, income that my assets are creating is what your passive income. And when your passive income is equivalent to your monthly expenses, you are what? When your passive is equal to your monthly expenses or more than your monthly expenses, you are financially free. When your passive income is equal or more than your monthly expenses, you are financially free. When your assets that you have created is generating monthly income, an average monthly income more than your monthly expenses, then you are financially free. Right? So, if you are continuously, either you are continuously in the rat race for life or you enjoy financial freedom. So, what you do with your surplus will decide what your future will be. Right? What you buy with your surplus income. Right? Now, what we just defined, when your monthly passive income is equal or more than your monthly expense, you are financially independent. Right? Okay. There is one more definition here. When your income is not dependent on your ability, you have become financially independent. Say tomorrow I have an accident and I lose my ability to think, but my assets are creating enough financial surplus, maybe enough financial revenue on a monthly basis and putting in my bank, I am financially independent. Tomorrow I maybe develop some fever and it affects my mind and I am not able to maybe think properly or do my things properly, and still my assets are generating enough monthly income, passive income, then I'm financially independent. Okay. So what should be the goal here? Now the first question is how much passive income? How much passive income? So I did this in one of my earlier presentations, so I will do it here again. Now we have heard these words number of times: wealthy people, rich people, well-off people, surviving people, and poor people. What person will you call wealthy? A person is wealthy when that family has around 10 lakhs passive income per month. कुछ नहीं कर रहा है, घर बैठा है, हर महीने बैंक के अंदर 10 लाख रुपया गिर रहा है from his assets. पोर्टफोलियो में नहीं बढ़ रहा है. It is not adding up to their portfolio. It is falling in their bank. It is coming as cash in their bank to spend. Those people are wealthy. People who are able to generate around 5 lakhs of passive income per month, we can call them rich. People who are around 2 lakhs passive income, they are reasonably well off. In a city like Bombay, they can meet, or Delhi, they can get two ends to meet. A family of 4, around 2 lakhs is a decent income. You can live a good life. Right? Around 1 lakh per month, you are literally surviving. You have to cut down on a number of things that you can do. Right? Anything less than 1 lakh, many financial advisors call them poor. They have to work for life, or they have to go to work. Right? Now, what should be the goal? Now, if you understand hockey or maybe ice hockey, in ice hockey, you will have the game is broken into 4 halves. First quarter, half time, third quarter, full time. And then by that time, if both teams, maybe opponents, have the same score, they have something such as extra time, which will be the deciding time. what is the first quarter of our life? The first quarter of our life is 25 to 35. You start usually your career by the age of 25. By the age of 35, I should be getting to a level so that my passive income is equal to or more than my expenses. That should be your goal. If that has not happened, maximum by 45, maximum by half time, my passive income should be equal or more than my monthly expenses. From 45 to 55, here things start getting a little difficult, because if you have maybe children and your family and children and dependents or elderly parents, maybe there will be expenses on their side. If you have children, their higher education, they will come in. Right? So, and then the fourth quarter is even more difficult, because by that time, large checks you'll have to write in maybe marriages. Right? So then if you have not been able to do that, your passive income is not equal to, you have little more time, that is extra time, or you will have to work for life, time over. You have to work for life till the day you are alive. Right? For the first 3 years of my career, I had to do up and down from Surat to a place called Kim, very near to Surat, around 40 kilometers to Surat, where we had a factory. And I had to catch the local train on a daily basis to go to the factory. Right? And many times I used to see very elderly people. And I had to get up from my place, and maybe in every local train anywhere in India is like the local trains in Bombay, they are overcrowded. People literally hang outside. Right? And many times you see very elderly people who had to go to work on a daily basis. Why? Beta kaam karunga nahi chalega. Right? Bacche dhyan nahi rakh rahe. Because children are also not independent. Or many elderly have also children dependent on them. So they have to keep on working. So their time is over. Why? In the 40 years that they had as career, they were not financially wise. They kept on buying liabilities instead of assets. Okay. Once you build an asset, once you build a reasonable asset, anything about 10 lakhs is reasonable. Anything about 10 lakhs is reasonable. Right? The biggest, maybe the financial advisor live on earth says, never lose that asset. Never lose money. You have to protect that asset. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. Moody, like in Hindi or in Marwadi families, I think Rahul Jain will second this. Moody tutna nahi chahiye. Elders will say that again and again and again. आप कुछ भी करो, मूड़ी टूटना नहीं चाहिए. The asset that we have created should not deteriorate. और in a simple word, जिंदा है तो लड़ लूंगा. जिंदा ही नहीं हो तो कैसे लड़ूंगा? If asset ही खत्म हो गया तो उसको पैसे वापस कैसे खड़े करूंगा? So why? Let us take a simple, maybe simple math here. If the asset that I have created, say if I have created 1 crore rupees, and if I have invested in a risky asset class, and my asset has broken down because of some fluctuation to around 30%, I'll have to gain around 43% to recover what I've lost. If it has broken down to around 50%, अगर 1 crore का फ्लक्चुएशन में 50 लाख हो गया, so I will have to add another 50 lakhs, that is 100% to get back to the asset level that I had created. And if I have made a very wrong investment and 90% of my asset is lost, I'll have to grow it by 900% to get it back to maybe 1 crore. Right? So when you see HNIs or very high HNIs, they always prefer secure tools. रिटर्न कम मिलेगा चलेगा, बट मूड़ी टूटेगा या नहीं चलेगा. Okay, let us further understand, maybe simplify this. One more thing I would want to share here. What is the highest tax slab in India?
30%.
Right? The highest, right? The highest tax slab in India is 43%. If you earn around 5 crores a year, you have to pay around 43% tax. Right? If you earn anything above 50 lakhs, you are playing in around maybe late 30s for tax. Right? And this year in budget, believe me, there is going to be COVID tax. COVID says. So taxes are going to go high. What was the highest tax in India ever? Anyone?
60 something, I think.
More than 90%.
98% was the highest tax slab in India in the year 1972-73 in emergency. And something like this can happen again and again. The way people are migrating out of California today is very high. Why? Their taxes are going up, they are skyrocketing. And those taxes are going to go even further higher because that country has printed so many dollars in the last 1 year. Right? And even India has maybe printed a lot of money, rupees in this last 1 year. Right? So where will all this come from? So very important is if I'm creating or thinking of wealth, my wealth should be tax free. Your tax is your biggest expense. How do I create wealth so that the money that is generating is tax free, or I'm adjusting against something so that my tax liability is not high. So that is again very important. So if 30 lakhs, up to 30 lakhs, you are paying 30%, up to 50 lakhs, you are paying around 33%. Right? 50 lakhs, you are paying 34.2, around 1 to 2 crores, you are paying 35.7, 2 to 5 crores, you are 38.7%. This is as on today's. Right? Above 5 crores, you are paying around 42.3%. Right? Highest tax slab was around 97.75%. Okay. One more question here. Types of money. Who can help me here? What are the types of money here?
Black and white.
Black and white. Okay. One is currency, like paper money, government money. Like the dollar, the rupee, everything it is government money. It is something the government prints, and it can any day think, okay, now 1,000 rupees no more, it will no more be valid. 10,000 rupee notes will no more be valid. Right? That the value of that paper can go to zero anytime they want. Silver rupee, maybe it is no more in circulation. So that is fiat. Fiat is government's money. Fiat is not backed by, till 1971 it was backed by gold. Today it is not backed by gold. It is just by a press of a computer, maybe a button in the computer, more money can be created. So fiat is government's money. Then there is something such as God's money. God's money is God's money is silver and gold. Right? And there is 16 times more silver available on earth than gold. So the ideal gold to silver ratio should be 1 to 16. But in February and March of this year, 1 kilo of gold could buy 128 kilos of silver. And today, 1 kilo of gold can only buy around 75 kgs of silver. So silver has given around 100% return in the last 6 months. Right? This is God's money. And if there is maybe a war, rupee may become zero, the dollar may become zero. In the next decade, the dollar may lose its international currency status. The dollar may go bust. And the third kind of money, that is cryptocurrency. That is people's money. Today, why is, maybe Kadambi talked about Bitcoin. Today, why is one Bitcoin $40,000? One Bitcoin is $40,000. A year ago, it was $10,000. Right? Because people don't, there is a set of people who don't believe in the dollar today. They believe that dollar will go bust in a few years. So let us protect our money in a currency that is other than, maybe there is one currency that is gold, but I need very big, maybe vaults to store gold, but then I can store in crypto. Right? So it is people's money. So these are three different kinds of money. So you need to understand these three kinds of money. Right? So many authors put it in a way that if I am saving money, actually I'm losing money. If I'm saving money, I'm losing money because if I'm saving fiat, sorry, if I'm saving fiat, I'm losing money. Why? Because money, the rupee or the dollar is losing its value. It's lost. Dollar has lost around 99% its value in the last 20 years. Rupee has lost around 99% of its value in the last maybe 30 years. So if you're not using debt, to build assets, you'll never make money. So we had a discussion, you should always be debt free. Now, debt free is like saving money. Okay. Now I will go into a pyramid, wealth pyramid. The bottom of the pyramid is life insurance and health insurance. No question about it. It is pure peace of mind. आज रात को मैं सो गया, कल सुबह नहीं उठा, and if my family gets a big sum of amount, it is peace of mind. Like my dependents get an amount, it's a pure peace of mind. Like if I have to face an accident and my health problems are recurring and I have to stay in bed for the next 10 years and maybe every 3 months or 4 months I need to visit to the hospital and big hospital bills if I don't have a medical insurance. If I have that insurance, it is pure peace of mind, not only for me, but all my dependents also. So that is the bottom of the pyramid, prerequisite. Right? It is not an expense. You are buying peace of mind. Right? Now let me put it in very simple words. Say you are traveling in a train from Bombay to Daman or Bombay to Surat, 250 kilometers, and you don't have a reserve ticket. What will you do? And you are say around 25, 30 years of age. You will maybe travel standing. But if you have to travel from Bombay to Delhi in a train and you don't have what do you want? You would want a reserve ticket and you would want a comfortable ticket, maybe an AC bogie. You would never want to travel unreserved. You want that peace of mind. Buying a life insurance or a health insurance is that reserve ticket. It's a long-term plan. It's a long-term plan. And you don't know what are all the uncertainties that I will face in this long journey. Okay? So the bottom of the pyramid is life and health insurance. Then is gold and silver. It is God's money. Okay? I don't even recommend paper gold and paper silver. I believe in physical. Right? Not even maybe to the maximum gold silver bonds, which can give you around 2.25% return per annum. But it is a pure hedge. It's a pure hedge. Right? When maybe you don't know when which country will go to war. And when a country goes to war, sometimes currencies have no value, lose value. Before World War II, the German mark was the most valuable currency on earth. What happened post World War II? People who had gold, they could exchange to the new currency. People who did not have gold, they were on streets. So gold is a pure hedge. In this journey, you don't know what is going to happen. So the second bottom of the pyramid needs to be gold and silver. Then is post PPF, right? PPF and life insurance or endowment plans are tax-free money, right? PPF cannot be even attached. No government, no DRI, no income tax, nobody can attach it. And even endowment policies, if you take it in Married Women Act, nobody can attach it. Right? Fully paid real estate. Fully paid real estate is as good as debt. It will give you around 6. If your real estate, which you are given it on rent, fully paid real estate is giving around 6% return per annum, it is as good as debt. It will not give you very high returns. Okay, appreciation, we are not talking about appreciation.
Capital gain will be there.
If you do CAGR over a period of 30 years, even good real estate will not give you anything more than 8 to 10% return. And if you take depreciation into value, it will even lower. Then is mutual funds. Right? Either it could be index or equity or maybe balanced mixed. Then it is direct equity. Right? Either you do it on your own or you do it through a fund manager. Right? Then there is leveraged real estate. Right? So leveraged real estate is something you are only given a token. Right? You are given a token and you are speculating in real estate. And then there is FNO, startups, and crypto. Right? Startup will never give you return in percentages. It will give you returns in X's. 1x, 2x, a multiple of X's. Then multiple of X is 100%, 200%, 300%, 500%. So it will give you multiple X's. Right? Future and option is nothing but if you are good at future and option, it's as good as a casino. Right? There is a rule: casino never loses. But if you can count cards, you can win the casino also. Right? So what should be, if this is the pyramid, how should I be invested? Okay, let us maybe I love this statement and I live by this. Okay? Personality needed to become wealthy is barbelled personality. What do you understand by that? Optimistic about the future, but paranoid about what will prevent you from realizing the future. Very optimistic, but very paranoid about what may go wrong. And in this journey of life, you have something such as your plan, and there is something such as God's plan. And God's plan is something totally different than your plan. You never anticipated COVID. You never anticipated maybe an earthquake. You never anticipated a Bombay flood. You never anticipated maybe an earthquake. You will never anticipate a war. And things will happen in this journey of life. So when you build a home, you build with a factor of safety. When you are thinking about wealth, you should always have a factor of safety. You may be thinking 15%, 18%, 21% or 25% returns over a period of time. Now, let us take one example. Warren Buffett, the wealthiest investor on earth. What is his average annual return? His average annual return, he is the best. He is the best of his average annual return is only 21%. But he has done 21% for a period of 75 years. He's done a period compounded for over 75 years, and he created majority of his wealth in the last 10 years, last 10 or 15 years. Right? So if Warren Buffett can create a compounded return of 21% being the best, I should be thinking of around 8%. 7 to 8% is maybe a very practical, and we are not talking only one asset class. We are talking about across asset classes. Across asset classes. Because as Kay said, I should never be in one bucket. I should never be in one bucket. Now, Warren Buffett can be in one bucket because he is a full-time and a master at what he is doing, and still he has made a lot of mistakes. It is not that he has never sold any of the stocks that he has bought. He had to cut positions in many of the. Okay. How should be our portfolio maybe diversified? Now, I will share my age, so I will maybe give an example here, and I will share how I am investing. Say the thumb rule is age minus your age. So age minus your age, if my age is 50, so 100 minus your age, that is the amount of I need to take risk, and the next part will be in safe investments. Right? Some authors have put it in, wealth managers put it in 90 minus your age. So if my age is 50, 90 minus 50, so 40% should be in risk, 60% should be in safe investment. Okay. Now, what should be my portfolio mix look like? So if I'm 50 years of age and if I can take 50% put in risk, maybe 20% of my wealth can be in fully paid real estate, 20% in PPF, endowments, FDs, bonds, and cash at home for emergency fund. So that is 40%. And 10% of my wealth in gold and silver. So if I have 10 crores of wealth, 1 crore should be around 200 tulas in gold and silver. Right? 2 crores worth of paid up real estate, 2 crores worth of PPF, FD, endowments, or even maybe safe bonds, and the rest 50%, which I can take risk, is 20% I can invest in leveraged real estate. Okay. 20% in equity, mutual funds, index funds, right? And 10% I can go into very high risk. That is bitcoins. I can maybe put it in startups. I can put it in FNOs where that entire 10% can even go to zero. Maybe that entire 1 crore can become zero. But I can still afford. I am only taking risk of maximum 10% of my wealth. Now, if I have to invest in a business, or if we are a business family, what portion of our wealth should be invested in a business? I can't be leveraging our entire family wealth into business. Right? Because when you are doing a business, right, you are taking a very high risk. It is the highest possible risk that you can take. When you are investing in your own business, it's the highest possible risk that you're taking. So maximum that you can take is 30% of your wealth. That is 20% of equity, 10% of, right? Maybe startup money. Also that portion of my wealth, I can risk it. So even if my business goes kaput or something goes wrong, because when we start a business, we always think I will do great, but we don't know what can go wrong. Majority of the business that people stop in the next 5 years. You can't afford to maybe risk your entire portfolio, entire wealth in a business. Maximum you can risk is around 30%. Right? If your homework is really good, your planning is really good, maximum you can really leverage is up to maximum 50%, but not more than that. But where majority families and individuals go wrong is they end up leveraging a very high portion of their wealth in doing a business that they want to start. And when things start going wrong there, everything goes haywire.
Anand,
Yeah.
you know, the gold and silver, it's only in India that we invest in gold and silver.
No,
Nowhere else in the world, I think they do it.
uh, if you just need to go, who are the richest people on earth? Not on
Sorry?
not on paper. Not
No,
on
even
paper. Physical.
Yeah, which other countries invest in gold?
Everywhere. Maybe Switzerland is filled with people who have stored physical gold. Costa Rica is filled with lockers which has physical gold.
I think US, UK, I mean,
Right.
developed
Number of
countries, they buy gold.
maybe the Rockefellers to everyone, maybe even the Franklin family has so much gold.
Yeah, gold and silver is an asset class they invest in. No,
It's an asset class that they invest in. It is a pure hedge. It's a pure hedge.
not in jewelry like us, but yes.
Yes, they will invest in physical pure bars.
And can we continue and come to a conclusion, please?
Yes, this was my last slide.
Yeah.
Right. Understood a lot of things today. 5 frogs sitting on a edge of a pond. 3 decided to jump into the well. How many are still sitting? All 5. So all this sounds very good, but you need to jump into it. Right. I am open for questions. If I am eligible enough, I'll answer.